Welcome back. Sorry for the abrupt opening here, but this is the facts going down. The aircraft went down in a field with me in it in Nebraska, in a cornfield, as you can see here, 9-foot tall corn. What ended up happening was the stake washer that locks the stake nut into place on the prop shaft inside of the reduction drive, that washer had failed, and subsequently the nut was able to come loose. And then when that happened, the prop shaft was actually able to sort of move back and forth inside of the tapered roller bearings that hold it in place. And when that happened, the pulleys were able to sort of move out of normal alignment, and subsequently the belts weren't able to stay fully engaged, and I lost power. And the engine was running fine, but I just wasn't able to engage the prop. And I was at 1,000 feet at the time. I was actually coming into Grand Island, or getting ready to come into Grand Island. I had hit a temperature inversion, and I was very heavy at the time as well. So I wasn't able to climb as much as I wanted to. The temperature outside was 78 degrees, and it was about 72 when I departed. So I was struggling along the way with all the weight that I had, and just said, okay, I'm going to make it into Grand Island, and then reevaluate how I was going to continue to go north. Anyway, so all of a sudden, basically the belt started jumping, and pulling the power back didn't really do anything. I didn't have anywhere that was immediately available. I turned the aircraft around at 270 degrees to bring it into the wind, and had a look what I had, and everything that in front of me wasn't a good option apart from this field. So I decided to put it down in the field there, and just basically went in, and the aircraft was damaged enough that it could be repaired. But as you'll see coming up here, we're moving on, focusing on the future and the changes going forward for the new aircraft, and not going to basically readdress this one and try and fix a whole bunch of things just to get it back in the air. I think I've learnt enough from what I need for this to go on to the next iteration in the project. So with the help of one of the local farmers here, actually the brother of the guy who owns the land, a legend by the name of Bob, he came in there with his loader, and we just literally picked up the aircraft, and hooked onto a couple of strong points on the aircraft and just picked it up there above the corn, so 9 feet in the air the wings were, and just carried it out of there. And then subsequent to that, we've basically put it on a trailer and trucked it. So I'm actually up in Boise right now and have the aircraft here, and we're just going to turn this particular aircraft into a display model where we put the interior in it and have it all nice and sorted out, and the avionics and everything working, and people can sit in it and get the feel for what the Raptor's going to be in the future moving forward. And there it is, coming out of the corn for the very last time, its last sort of pseudo flight. So let's move on and see how the project is going to progress from here. Alright, so this is what the next generation Raptor is going to look like, and this is what we've been working on for quite some time now in the background while I've been doing all the flight testing on the prototype, and I guess now is as good a time as any to reveal what we can. Alright, so let's go over some of the features that you're looking at here. So as I said, we do have now an electric hybrid propulsion system here with a ducted fan setup. These are 24-inch ducted fan. I really can't tell you anything more about the performance of that. It's all still secret. There's going to be a power generation unit there in where the engine currently is to provide power to these guys, along with a small battery to provide sort of some backup power if your power generator goes down. Obviously, you can see we have a boxed wing set up now. That's going to allow us to have a much more rigid structure there with lighter weight, and not having to have the wings all cantilevered out with the high winglets. We've also lowered the wing here, so that has a bunch of benefits in that the landing gear can be shorter and subsequently lighter, and also too, the aircraft will sit lower to the ground because we don't have to worry about prop clearance anymore, and that way it'll be easier to get in and out of. We can also make it so the fuselage, or we will be making it so the fuselage can come completely detached from the wing. It won't be sort of one built-in structure, so the strakes will now be separate, as well as the foreplane. So there's a bunch of benefits to that, and we lowered the wing in order to get the thrust center line there close to the center line of the aircraft. So what else we got? We've also made the windows here a little bit taller in the back there to match the sort of profile of the wing there. So that's going to make visibility better in the back, but overall the fuselage is staying pretty much the same as what it was. And let's see, what else can I tell you without giving away the farm. Basically, that's the majority of really what I can share right now, I think. I can tell you without revealing too much about all the CFD that we've run on these ducted fans here, that we're going to have substantially better performance than the Audi engine currently in the aircraft. So you're going to have a much lighter setup. These actually weigh, in the combination of those, weigh far less than the Audi engine ever did, even with the generator that we're working on. So you're going to have a much lighter aircraft, and you're going to have better performance. I can't tell you what the thrust numbers are for these, but it's going to be, the two of these is going to be, exceed the Audi engine by quite a lot. So that'll be good, and the aircraft will be lighter. We're not going to do the pressurization anymore, but we are going to provide backup or sort of oxygen on board, so you can still take it up to the flight levels. The pressurization just added way too much structure and too much weight, and the windows were too thick and the doors too many locks and all that sort of stuff. So we're changing all that up just to bring it back into sort of more of a traditional aircraft in terms of weight and everything like that. So you're going to get a much lighter aircraft with the power plant and the fuselage. You're going to get better performance, but you'll still have the lifting surface areas pretty much match exactly what we currently have. So the gross weight will be potentially somewhere around about 4,000 pounds, but the empty weight will be probably much closer to what you'd expect this to be. I would say in the low 2,000 pounds or less. So I think we're going to have much better performance overall with that. Anyway, there's probably a lot more things I can tell you, but and this is probably going to create a ton of questions. But all I can tell you is this is what we're working on right now, and we are going to be putting together a prototype of this new ducted fan here soon, and then working more towards the production plan for all this, and obviously the next airframe for this. But that's what's going to end up happening, and we're going to end up with an aircraft, with a smaller wing plan form here that will potentially just fit in the size of a 2-car garage. And I know no one's going to be driving it to their house, but potentially storage at an airport won't be so much of an issue if you can fit a couple of these in a normal hangar. So the wingspan will end up being basically about the same as what the canard span is right now, and the height will be a little bit lower than it currently is. I think the overall height of this back wing there is going to be under 7 feet. So yeah. All right, so that's about all I can share right now. Thanks again for watching, and if we can put out updates going forward, then I will. Otherwise, you're just going to have to sit tight until we release something about any of this technology as we get it underway. So thanks again for watching, and we'll catch you sometime soon.